All right, let's get to the next subtopic of this current phase where we are, as a reminder, reviewing the very basic AI techniques, which I kind of call advanced AI techniques. And one of them is for us to understand how AI is structured, because there is a lot of misconception in this space, and that is not helping people to get to understand what exactly to expect, because the nature of AI is kind of simpler than many of us think. It will sound too simplistic, and it's not true entirely, and billions of dollars have been spent on the evolution of artificial intelligence. But all in all, AI is nothing else than a very huge database of, let's say, the different words and the connections between the words. So, like, what is the probability that one word goes with another word? For example, how you can autocomplete sentences like Paris is, and then the AI will probably predict that the next word will be the capital, and then after that, the next word will be of France. And then it will keep going and like spit out the statistics about Paris, about France itself. It will walk through like what are the prominent places in Paris, what's its history, because this is the data that it has been trained on, right? So we should consider AI to be kind of nothing else than a large database of all this knowledge where the words are just connected to each other. And that is how, with some solutions like ChatGPT and others, can really come up with the perfect answer for us. But AI is not anything mystical. For example, it doesn't live as such between our request and response. So when we are sending a prompt to ChatGPT, what is happening is that for the AI processing, a few things get appended to our prompt. First of all, the previous turns of the current conversation. So AI doesn't hold a history of our conversation as such, because it's stateless. It doesn't have any other memory except for what is in its database that it was kind of trained based on input data. All right. So it receives the previous turns of the conversation that we've had with it. And by the way, that explains why many experts, including myself, recommend that you should not mix different conversations in one thread. And if you feel like a thread becomes too polluted, like there is too much info in it and the info that is not related to what you're currently discussing, you're better off kick off the new thread so that your context is clean, right? Because every history, every turn of the conversation in the history is being fed into the current request to the AI. It also includes our user prompt, so that's something that we texted it. But in addition to it, it includes the system prompt, which is typically hidden from your chat interface as such, but it will live either in your folder setting or in your assistant setting. So that is what kind of sets up like the entire context tone of the conversation. And this is where you can leverage what we learned previously in terms of the system prompts and the techniques to specify our requirements towards the output. And that will be included in the request to the artificial intelligence. There are other things that are included as well. For example, the user preferences. I will show you later on how it looks in ChatGPT, and memory, which is either like the full or summarized way of your previous conversations, your like key data about yourself. I should also add the context that is being added from the external tools. If you connect your Google Drive or your Microsoft Drive and so on, that can also be fed into the request to AI to process it. So it processes it and then takes these all components into consideration and will give you the response in accordance to all of this. How it looks practically will be shown a little bit later, but I just want to give a good association or metaphor for it, which is like you can consider your conversation with an AI, say a Microsoft Copilot, as a journey on a ship. And there are multiple types of ships. And your user prompt is like you're a captain on the deck and you are steering it and you're telling where you want to go and like in what time and so on, right? But then the system prompt is like the engine or the configuration of the ship itself. So based on what type of task you plan to accomplish, you will onboard different ships. Do you want to have a weekend vacation on a yacht while you want to have fun? It's going to be one type of ship. If you want to ship a large shipment, then you will pick another vessel. But you will have these vessels set up in your marina for different, or in your port for different types of experiences that you want from life, all right?